hi, I want to show off just a bit of my console obsession collection kind of thingy because like I've been doing a lot of console modding since I graduated Woodbury University in 2024. So let me show you this new hobby that I picked up. Right here we have a bunch of my DS shells. These are just the fat one. There are a lot of aftermarket shells which are honestly really terrible. What's really cool about it is that I'm able to like spray paint these and hopefully keep them better. We got a bunch of Game Boy SP shells. We have the backings of some of them, the fronts of some of them, and right here we have like regular Game Boy Advances. I've done a lot of these things. I want to like these with other stuff so I can like sell these. Down here I got some DS Lite shells. Now I'm looking for that very religiously, so if anyone has a DS Lite that they want to give up, whether if it's working, broken, as long as it powers on, I would love to take that off your hands. Then I just have miscellaneous tools such as the heat resistant tape. I have a bunch of screwdrivers and kits from Extreme Rate Pro. This is my active working bin, plastic bonder, just in case I have cracks and certain stuff. So I'm actively working on this DS Lite. The motherboard potentiometer has broken, so I need to get a new motherboard. That's why I'm looking for a DS Lite. Up here I just have a bunch of miscellaneous 3DS parts. If I'm being quite honest, I don't play 3DS as much as I used to, but that's where they would be. There's my cat. Their name is Buttercup, and they are a rowdy little shit. Hey, Buttercup. Buttercup! Oh my god, Buttercup! Hi. And here is the autism corner. Buttercup, stop it. Stop. In here what we have is we got some DS Lite buttons, some Game Boy Advance SP hinges, Game Boy Advance SP directional pads, DS Lite buttons. There are some crusty ones I still need to clean, but they're there. Not the SP, but these are for Game Boy Advance, but I could take these apart in my GameCube controller because they use the same triggers. Game Boy Advance directional pads. This is the Nintendo DS directional pads. Game Boy Advance SP buttons, and then we have some Game Boy Advance power switches. These are also for Game Boy Advance. These are some Nintendo DS right here. These are Nintendo DS power sliders or volume sliders. These are Game Boy Advance, just the original buttons for the Nintendo DS as well as the Wi-Fi card. That goes right there. These are Game Boy Advance SP triggers, Game Boy Advance SP hinge covers. We have some of these bumpers that go on the Game Boy Advance. We have some DS Lite triggers, Wi-Fi cards. These are just some random USB-Cs that I can solder. Like if I wanted to turn something into a USB-C charger, because that's all the rage these days. These are some Game Boy Advance triggers, and this is Game Boy Advance SP grill. This is the Tower of Bullshit. Basically, these are the battery covers. I have a Nintendo Switch battery. I have some few DS Lite batteries and some Game Boy SP batteries. Down here, we have one screen in here, but just in case, these will also be all of the lens covers for like Game Boy Advances, Game Boy SPs, etc, etc. Now for my actual mods. I've been wanting to do something with these called the Franken Boys, and this is just basically all of my parts kind of jumbled together. The big issue I have right now for this one is that the L trigger, and for some reason these buttons don't work. But once I get these fixed, this will be ready to be sold. I'm thinking $100, just because it will have a USB-C charger, and these are new buttons, so yeah. This is my daily driver Game Boy Advance SP that I fitted with USB-C. I'm trying to go for trans colors because for those who don't know, I am transgender. So I'm trying to go for pink and blue with some white accents. So that's exactly what I did here. Unfortunately, I fucked up this one a little bit. So now the volume just doesn't work, but at least I can still play Game Boy games. I just gotta live without the fact that there's no sound. This is my Nintendo Switch OLED that I have reshelled. As Bingus just flies around the screen. These are new Joy-Con sticks because of Joy-Con drift. I had to fix that. This is my daily driver GameCube controller. So basically what I did, I grabbed a motherboard from 8-Bit Dough. There are trigger plugs in here. So for those who are like Smash Brothers fanatics, trigger plugs save my damn life. Right now, I'm also working on a DS Lite, a regular DS, and I'm outside right now. I'm currently working on these. These are just a bunch of shells that I've had previously that had cracks, that had blemishes, etc. that I'm trying to spray paint. I did a poor job on these spray paints. So I'm hoping that I can just sand off all the blemishes and then add some clear coats instead to cover that up. But we have DS Lite, Game Boy Advance SP. All of these have been cleaned and they've just been like damage came from broken consoles that I purchased, trying to give it a new home. So yeah, that's basically what I do outside of animation and stuff. I'm always looking for game consoles. If you want to donate some or allow me to have some, feel free. I would love that.